Okay, hello everyone. You are welcome. My name is Rose Graham, and this is Damilola Ogusola. Okay, so we are outside here at the Old Bailey, where the court session of the former Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu will be holding, and this will be his fourth time in court. The first time was in June. And that was at the
Oxford Magistrate Court.
The second time at the Westminster.
Yeah.
And the third time, that was a week ago,
about like a week and a half ago. Yeah.
So when the wife was granted bail.
That's correct.
And of course, he was refused bail because they deemed him a flight risk. And of course, he's going to be appearing today for the plea. But then talking about him being a flight risk, do you think he actually is? This is an international citizen. He is he's well known. And the UK has access to the Interpol. They have access to whatever security agency, so they can get him if he decides to flee. So but why are they worried?
That's exactly why he's a flight risk.
Well,
because he's a high-profile person.
Do you think he would want to run away from this? Because where can he hide?
He wouldn't be the first person of prominence to have been accused of a crime and conveniently disappear. There are lots of countries all over the world that don't have an extradition policy that he could go to, and even if the UK found him to be there, they couldn't get him back. So all of this taken into consideration,
he would be risking a lot given the fact of what he has achieved in his life. I don't think he would want to run away if they ask him to stay put in the UK until he appears in court again.
I don't claim to put the mind of man past anybody.
Okay.
Anybody is capable of anything.
You have the former governor of what's his name? Bayelsa State. How he disappeared, but I'm not sure. This is too.
It's difficult to speculate, but I know that for the court to have granted Beatrice bail and not to have granted him, there is definitely something there.
Okay.
As to the reasons why. Okay. Flight risk may just have been one, but in the mind of the court when that decision was taken.
Let's leave that hanging. Secondly, let's just let our viewers know what is happening out here right now. We have the media agencies. Hi, how you doing? Like Nigerians are coming, a number of them packed on that side, and of course the news agencies are present here already. We have channels over there, the BBC is here, AIT is also standing here, and also the High Commission, the Nigerian High Commission in the United Kingdom representatives, they are also here. There are about 5 of them. They were the same set who were with him at the Westminster Magistrate Court, and then they've also come here. And of course, people are beginning to line up to go into court, and the court session is meant to start at 10:30. That's true. And there's one other thing I would like to bring to the knowledge of our viewers. But before that, David Ukpo Nwamnene, what do you think is happening to him now?
It's difficult to speculate. Because of where we are now, this is, the Central Criminal Court. With his details in terms of, his age and all of that, with the order having been lifted at the Magistrates Court because it was agreed that this person is no longer a minor, it's possible that he could be, when trial starts, he could be, put in the dock and made to answer
that
various
is what a
questions.
lot of people will want to see.
That could happen, but it's not a guarantee that it will. That's down to if the prosecution deem it necessary.
I think it should be necessary because there are some questions I think that the Ekweremadus need to answer. Some questions like, he's here, they would inquire from him. And I believe that if the Ekweremadu can answer these questions correctly or successfully, I don't think they would have to face, the penalties for this crime.
Well, let's hear what the questions are.
Okay, let me put this. And number one, did they inform David's parents about, bring before flying him down here
So given
for
that
him to
he
come
has-
donate his kidney?
given that David has now agreed that he is not a minor,
Yes.
the issue of parental consent ceases to exist.
That's a point. That is a point. But did they not involve him? They just because there should be someone that the guy no, because why I'm saying this, because they said they picked up a homeless person.
That was
And
the
it
initial
seemed-
report.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And it's like they're taking advantage of him because he has no money, he has no place to stay, and then they lured him. So that's a crime in itself. So who
Yeah.
knows about it? Whose consent was given? Well, there might not be need for consent,
Yeah.
but maybe who was involved in it?
Well, I think definitely, the law stands as he who alleges must prove. So the onus would be on the prosecution to prove all the elements of the crime. In terms of the luring and homeless and
Yes.
all of that, we don't actually know if that is the truth
Okay.
because it hasn't been directly stated in court. Neither has been directly, reported live from a court session. This is just, would I say, journalism at work. And so until we know for fact that these are the descriptors along the lines of homeless, vulnerable, lured, it's very difficult at this stage. If that is true, it will definitely come out.
Okay, now, so did David come to agree to donate his kidney without the promise of a reward?
Well,
How about that?
so in terms of that, there are two things to consider there. Even if he agreed to donate his kidney,
Yes.
he still has the right to change his mind. He is
Okay.
not bound to donate his kidney. It's not possible
You
to
know
be
what?
bound to do that.
Just a minute. Hold that thought there. Let me put a pause on this. It seems to be taking forever to go. Okay, viewers, I had to wait to turn the camera around so that you can see what's happening behind us, and that's the court. And Nigerians are queuing in, and of course, press men are also queuing in. Whoever is interested to have knowledge of this case, they're gathering. So you were saying about David, if he was promised, if he agreed to donate his kidney without the promise of a reward.
Yeah. So that depends. Like I was saying, it depends on a couple of things. Even if he had agreed
Yes.
to donate his kidney, he is not bound to do so. He could have signed whatever documentation saying that he will, but legally, given that the surgery was going to take place here, he has the right to change his mind.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the reward aspect, this is where a couple of other things come up. Reward can be taken in either its literal sense in terms of money, but it could also be sort of an implied reward. So there were initial reports along the lines of they promised him a better life in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, initial reports, I don't know if that's true, but that was one of the things that came out.
Yes.
A better life in the UK could be deemed a reward.
Okay.
So even if he had agreed to do so based on the promise
Yes.
of this reward of whatever type it may be it living standards, monetary or anything, that in itself, the offer of a reward, is an illegal act.
That is what I'm saying, and that's where I'm going, and that's the problem.
Is
isn't
an
it?
illegal act.
That's the
So,
problem.
The nature of the offence is quite complex.
Yes.
You can't just treat one element without the other. Whilst there may be nations, other countries where this sort of organ transaction is more like a business, you pay for it, you get it.
Oh, yeah.
That does not apply here.
It doesn't, because
You can't
definitely,
do that.
maybe in some countries, of course, you can buy kidneys, you can buy any of the organs.
Yeah.
We read the stories, and it's so painful to the ears, and you say how some people fall victims of these people who harvest others' organs, and it's really sad. But of course, in developed countries like the US, the UK, Canada, Netherlands, things like this are frowned upon.
Yeah.
Usually there's a bank, or people tend to donate their organs if they're passing away, or maybe they had accidents and they're gonna die. Then you can donate your organs, and they put it in there's sort of a scheme, or insurance scheme, or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it an insurance scheme. It's more along the lines of there is a clearly defined legal process for organ donation and organ collection. So even if I wanted to donate an organ, for example, first of all, it's weird to just wake up and donate an organ. Nobody does that. But
That's funny.
That's weird.
Don't say that.
But assuming I needed to donate an organ, or rather, assuming person A needed to donate an organ,
Yes.
and had chosen to do so, there's a process for it.
Yes.
Even if I wanted to donate to somebody that I directly knew, maybe a relative or something like that, there is still a defined process
There is,
for it.
but in the
and
country,
there are certain
like
elements that must be met.
Definitely. I'm sure there is a department, or there's a section of the society, of the government, that controls this. And with you, they find out there's a list. I mean, there's
an organ donation list.
Yeah, there's a list and there's a queue if you actually need it. If you get to the top of it, you get it. I mean, if your case is dire,
Yeah,
so
there are different sort of prerequisites on how the list is organized.
Definitely, and of course in a organized society like this. But other people have said that the senator could have considered going to India or maybe some other country.
He could have considered going to other countries, but then there was probably a reason why he didn't.
Okay.
The senator is definitely learned.
Yes.
And so I'm sure if the opportunity of going to another country was an option, he would have done. It's possible that the person to receive this organ, that is his daughter, is extremely ill and cannot travel. We don't know that that's the case.
We don't know that, and that is...
And it's very important I say so. We don't know that's the case. But if it would be logical to think that that must have been the case, because otherwise, why not just go to another place?
But he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know.
Well, we wouldn't know, but it would be part. I would expect it to be part of the defense's
argument.
Part of it, as a mitigating factor.
Okay.
You know, as much as putting up a defense, they also need to ensure that their defense has what we call mitigating factors. That is, things that can be considered almost compassionate in nature, so that the courts should the case, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, go to a sentencing period. These mitigating factors are able to be considered in the sentencing time frame.
That is true. But then there's something else. Is our state going to be considered at all? What is happening to her right now?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's happening to her right now. But unfortunately, as much as she's ill, and it's really unfortunate that she is,
yes,
as much as she needs this transplant or a transplant, in the grand scheme of the case, she's negligible.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I just want to get an information from a friend. Okay, thanks for staying with me. And if you're just joining us, this is Damilola Obusola. She's a legal analyst, and of course, my name is Rose Peter Graham. Good day, sir. More Nigerians popping in. Okay, there was that's a question I really wanted to put to you. You see, some people say that would you say the senator, that's Ekweremadu, overlooked, as in he was seeking a solution and he was ready to do, as in seeking a solution for his daughter's health,
right?
And for him, he was like, it's going to be by any means necessary, and thereby overlooking the laws. Did he not consider it? He's a lawyer, isn't he?
He is a lawyer, and he has been a guest lecturer in universities here in the UK. So it's difficult to think that he didn't know the law. He must have done. He's a learned person. He knows every country has their rules and regulations. Now, the extent to which he has knowledge of these specific laws. Obviously, I couldn't tell you that, but simple research, even by a layperson.
Why did he overlook it? Because it was just there. The Modern Slavery Act of 2015. He didn't consider that.
I couldn't tell you what was in his mind, and this will be part of the things that would be interesting to hear from
Initially I felt, okay, what did he do? A lot of people, have called me after our last video. He's not going to run. He's an important personality. There's a bilateral relationship between the UK and Nigeria. So, they should understand. This is a father who cares for the daughter.
So
and all
the
of
thing
those.
is, the issue you're having here
Yes.
is that you're viewing it from the angle of the senator. On the side of the prosecution, that the senator is, whilst he's a senator in his own right in his own country,
Yes.
right here they are on the side of the alleged victim. So if you put yourself in the shoes of the victim, you begin to understand the rationale of the court and the rationale of the law. The law is to protect victims, not to protect people who, with whether good intentions or desperate times, or felt they had no other alternative, potentially commit crimes. That's not what the law is for. The law is for the protection of victims.
There's something else I need to say to our viewers, and I'm going to say this when we have our next recording, our next, discussion about this. You know that there is something with Senator Ekweremadu and the month of August.
Okay.
Because, August 4th, do you know exactly 4 years ago, August 4th, exactly, in 2018, he called about what? Like over 20 bishops, pastors to pray for him after he was released from the EFCC when he was arrested. They needed him to explain the over 22 houses he has in Nigeria, Dubai, and of course the UK. And then when he was released, he called those pastors, and of course they prayed for him on the 4th of August. And now today again, the 4th of August is now appearing in court. A lot about Ekweremadu. Anyway, in the next video, we will analyze more of it. People are queuing up, and of course, we don't want to miss our position. We want to get in there, get the best seat, so we can get all the juicy information to offer you at the end. So that's Damilola. My name is Bros. She is a legal analyst and of course political analyst. We'll be doing this more and more. Thanks for watching. I'm going to upload this now. Okay then, bye.